Welcome to the Restorative Yoga Class at Pachamama Yoga. This is an all-levels class, so whether this is your first time practicing yoga or you are a devout practitioner, our yoga classes cater to everyone. Before we start, it is beneficial to have a variety of yoga props to help support you in the restorative yoga poses presented in this episode. Take a moment to gather a yoga block, yoga strap, folded blanket, yoga bolster, and a large pillow. As we work through each pose, you will be instructed as to the placement and use of each yoga prop. If you don't have any of these props available, I offer instructions to gain full expression of the pose without the aid of yoga props. Let's start out today's session by finding a comfortable position lying on your back. Bring your right hand to your low belly and your left hand to your heart. Place pillows under your elbows for support if necessary. Begin to sink into a place of stillness. Allow your body to feel very heavy. Feel the tension in your body begin to sink into the earth with the pull of gravity. With every inhale, you expand your breath and awareness into every little space in your body where you are holding onto stress and tension. Breathing in fresh oxygen, rejuvenating the body by oxygenating every cell. With every exhale, allow your breath to expel out all of the stuck energy you have been holding onto. Breathe out all of the worry, stress, tension, and negative feelings. On the exhalation, we have the power to let go and get rid of negative energy in our body. For the rest of today's yoga class, focus your awareness on your breath. Follow the rhythm of your inhale and exhale. By focusing on breath awareness over the next hour, you will begin to become more cognizant of your breathing throughout your normal day. The goal of restorative yoga is to sink into deep relaxation within each posture. Be mindful that there may be an achy or stiff quality when coming out of each restorative yoga pose. When we work deep into the yin or connective tissues of the body, we are breaking up a spiderweb-like accumulation in the muscle fascia, which has accumulated as a direct result of wear and tear on the body, past injuries, emotional trauma, and a lack of flexibility. Therefore, it is very important to take your time unwinding from each posture. Restorative yoga reprograms our muscle memory and rewires our nervous system. Each pose presented in this class will be held for 4 to 5 minutes, working deep into the muscle fascia where we store both physical and emotional trauma and hold on to negative energy patterns. Through the practice of restorative yoga, we can break up and release these negative energy patterns that are creating discomfort and disease in the body. To enter the next pose, bring yourself into a supine position lying on your back. Fully extend your legs straight out on the yoga mat. We will now be coming into extended supine hand to toe pose, otherwise known in Sanskrit as Utthita Supta Hasta Padangustasana. This pose type is a supine hip opener. For all but the most advanced practitioners, this pose is usually practiced with the assistance of a yoga strap. Start out by bringing the left knee into the chest so the yoga strap can be wrapped around the arch of the left foot. Then, the left leg is extended straight up toward the ceiling or as high as you can comfortably raise your leg. As you deepen into the pose, the lifted leg can be drawn in closer to the body. Now proceed to drop the left leg out to the left side of the body, opening up the hip. Be sure to keep a micro bend in the left knee. If the left foot cannot reach the floor, ease up on the yoga strap to give it more slack until you find a happy medium where your left leg and foot can rest on the floor. If this is still not possible, you can always prop a yoga bolster or pillows under the left leg to bring the floor closer to you. In regard to further alignment cues, be sure to keep the right hip grounded. If you find that the right hip is lifting, ease up on the extension of the left leg. Your right arm should be extended out at a 45-degree angle from the right side of the body, palm facing the ceiling. Now close your eyes and breathe deeply into your legs and hips. Bring your awareness back to the breath, and let's transition to enjoy this stretch on the opposite side. On your next inhale, slowly unwind from this pose, coming back into the neutral position from which you began this posture. Let's come back to center, lying on your back with your legs fully extended straight out on the yoga mat. Begin again by bringing the right knee into the chest so that the yoga strap can be wrapped around the arch of the right foot. Then the right leg is extended up toward the ceiling or as high as you can comfortably raise the leg. As you deepen into the pose, the lifted leg can be drawn in closer to the body. Now, drop the right leg out to the right side of the body, opening up the hip. Be sure to keep a micro bend in the right knee. If the right foot cannot reach the floor, ease up on the yoga strap to give it more slack until you find a happy medium where the right leg and foot can rest on the floor. If this is still not possible, you can always prop a yoga bolster or pillow under the right leg to bring the floor closer to you. In regard to further alignment cues, be sure to keep the left hip grounded. If you find the left hip lifting, ease up on the extension of the right leg. Your left arm should be extended out at a 45-degree angle from the left side of the body with your palm facing the ceiling. Now close your eyes and bring the breath deeply into the legs and hips. This pose promotes mental health by increasing awareness, calming the mind, and developing patience. It also helps in treating conditions including indigestion, back pain, sciatic problems, high blood pressure, and menstrual discomfort. Utthita Supta Hasta Padangusthasana stimulates the Muladhara chakra, helping one to stay connected. This pose is also believed to activate the sacral chakra, which protects the yogi against the fear of change, while at the same time promoting emotional stability, joy, abundance, and pleasure. Bring yourself back to breath awareness. On your next inhale, start to unwind from this pose, coming back again to a neutral position so you can prepare to transition to the next yoga asana. Bring yourself into a kneeling position on the yoga mat. We will now be coming into frog pose, otherwise known in Sanskrit as Mandukasana. This pose type is a prone hip opener. To enter the pose, begin in a tabletop position on the yoga mat. Place a blanket or folded yoga mat under the knees to help provide cushion. Mindfully allow the knees to move out to the sides of the mat or wider, keeping the ankles and feet in alignment with the knees. The forearms drop to the floor with the palms flat. Now, shift the hips slightly backward. Keep the neck neutral or allow the head to hang, creating a gentle traction stretch to the back of the neck. Close your eyes and focus your attention on breathing into the hips and low back. Mandukasana refers to one of the several yoga asanas that resemble a frog. The term comes from the Sanskrit word manduka, meaning frog. This asana is an intense hip opener, stretching the inner thighs and growing chest and shoulders. Mandukasana helps to relieve anxiety, stress, and mild depression. Traditionally, Mandukasana is believed to open the sacral chakra. Activating this chakra promotes focus, productivity, and inner acceptance. Bring yourself back to breath awareness. On your next inhale, start to unwind from this pose, coming back again to a neutral position so you can prepare to transition to the next yoga asana. Bring yourself into a seated position. We will now now be coming into cow face pose, otherwise known in Sanskrit as Gomukhasana. This pose category type is a hip and a chest opener. Start out in a seated, crossed-legged position. First, cross your left leg over the top of your right leg so that your left knee is stacked on top of your right knee. Glance down to ensure that your left foot is next to your right hip. I would like to pause here and offer options for those with limited flexibility or knee joint injuries. If stacking the knees in this posture is just not possible, remain in a seated, crossed-legged position. In addition, anyone can benefit in this pose by sitting on a yoga block or folded blanket, which takes a bit of pressure off of the hips. Now, let's add in the heart and chest opening stretch. Go ahead and reach your right arm up in the air and bend it at the elbow so it is now behind your back with your hand resting in between your shoulder blades. Next, bend your left elbow toward the floor and reach your left hand back to see if you can clasp the fingers of your left and right hand together. If this just isn't possible, use a towel or yoga strap to assist. Once you have settled into the pose, maintain a very straight spine. Bring your drishti inward, focusing on breathing into the tight spaces in your hips, legs, and shoulders. Bring your awareness back to the breath, and let's transition to enjoy this stretch on the opposite side. On your next inhale, slowly unwind from this pose, coming back into the neutral position from which you began this posture. Bringing ourselves back to center, starting out again in a crossed-legged position. Now, cross your right leg over the top of your left leg so that your right knee is stacked on top of your left knee. Glance down to ensure that your right foot is next to your left hip. Again, I would like to pause here and offer a few options for those with limited flexibility. If stacking the knees is just not possible, remain in a seated, cross-legged position. In addition, anyone can benefit in this pose by sitting on a yoga block or folded blanket. Now let's proceed to add in the heart and chest opening stretch. Go ahead and reach your left arm up in the air and bend it at the elbow so that it is now behind your back with your hand resting in between your shoulder blades. Next, bend your right elbow toward the floor and reach your right hand back to see if you can clasp the fingers of your left and right hand together. If this just isn't possible, use a towel or yoga strap to assist. Once you have settled into the pose, maintain a very straight spine. Again, bringing your drishti inward, focusing on breathing into the tight spaces in your hips, legs, and shoulders. Gomukhasana is a seated yoga posture that stretches several parts of the body simultaneously. The focus of this posture targets the ankles, hips, thighs, shoulders, underarms, triceps, and chest. Cow face pose helps to increase the flexibility of the back, cures sciatica, and stimulates the kidneys. Practicing this asana helps to open the sacral and heart chakra. These chakras are the centers of pleasure, enjoyment, love, and compassion, which makes Gomukhasana a challenging but powerful pose. Bring yourself back to breath awareness. On your next inhale, start to unwind from this pose, coming back again to a neutral position so you can prepare to transition to the next yoga asana. Bring yourself into a supine position lying on the back. We will now be coming into Happy Baby Pose, otherwise known as Ananda Valasana in Sanskrit. This pose is known as a supine hip opener. From a supine position lying on your back, bring the knees into the chest. Now, clasp the outer edges of your feet with your hands. Let your knees open to slightly wider than the hips. Your elbows will be placed on the inside edge of the knees and shins, while the hands clasp the outer edge of the foot. Go ahead and ensure that your knees are bent at a 90-degree angle, with your heels in alignment with the knees. Using little effort, the hands grip the outer edge of the flexed feet and push the knees down, coaxing the thighs inward toward the torso, lengthening the spine, releasing the tailbone down toward the earth. Extend the base of the skull away from the back of the neck. Allow your shoulders and head to relax, closing the eyes and bringing the drishti inward. Happy Baby Pose increases vitality and releases neck strain and tightness. This pose helps lengthen and realign the spine, as well as strengthens the arms and shoulders. Well known to relieve stress, anxiety, and fatigue. Ananda Balasana opens both the hips and the chest, making this a great pose for the root and heart chakra. Cautions for this pose include herniations to the cervical spine, and all pregnant women should take caution performing this pose. Bring yourself back to breath awareness. On your next inhale, start to unwind from this pose, coming back again to a neutral position so you can prepare to transition to the next yoga asana. Begin in a prone position, kneeling on the yoga mat. For extra support, Place a folded blanket under the knees. We will now be coming into threading the needle pose, otherwise known in Sanskrit as Parsva Balasana. This pose category type is considered a prone twist with an inversion. To enter the pose, start out in a tabletop position with knees under hips and hands under the shoulders. Next, the left arm is threaded under the body, extending out at shoulder height on the right side of the body with the palm facing the ceiling. Rotate the upper body until your left shoulder and the left side of your head touches the ground. Keep your right palm planted on the floor under the right shoulder. Another option is to reach your right arm out above the body for balance and support. Advanced yogis can also choose to take a half bind by tucking the right arm behind the low back. Close your eyes and breathe into the twist. Bring your awareness back to the breath, and let's transition to enjoy this stretch on the opposite side. On your next inhale, slowly unwind from this pose, coming back into the neutral position from which you began this posture. Let's start out again by coming into a tabletop position with our knees under our hips and hands under the shoulders. Now, the right arm is threaded under the body, extending out at shoulder height on the left side of the body with the palm facing the ceiling. Rotate the upper body until your right shoulder and the right side of your head touches the ground. Keep your left palm planted on the floor under the left shoulder. Another option is to reach your left arm out above the body for balance and support. Advanced yogis can also choose to take a half bind by tucking the left arm behind the low back. Close your eyes and breathe into the twist. Parsvabalasana is the perfect posture for anyone experiencing chronic stress and tension, particularly for those who hold tension in their upper body, neck, and shoulders. It is thought that the twist through the spine helps to wring out negative energy, releasing both physical and mental tension and preparing it for fresh nourishment. This is a good posture for learning how to balance effort and ease because the inhale lengthens the spine while the exhale relaxes the body and deepens the twist. Threading the needle pose is also a good posture for balancing the Muladhara root chakra. When balanced, it can help the yogi feel more grounded and connected to the earth. Bring yourself back to breath awareness. On your next inhale, start to unwind from this pose, coming back again to a neutral position so you can prepare to transition to the next yoga asana. To begin in this yoga asana, Start out in a seated position with both legs outstretched in front of you. We will now be coming into head to knee pose, otherwise known in Sanskrit as Janu Sirsasana. This pose category type is a seated forward bend. To begin, bend your right knee in as you move the sole of your right foot against your left inner thigh. Before you begin to forward fold, first lengthen your spine and the crown of your head up toward the ceiling. With a straight spine, reach your arms up, maintaining alignment, and now bow forward over the left leg. If possible, your forehead rests on your left knee or shin. For those of you with tight hamstrings, you may want to place a yoga bolster or pillow across the left thigh to help support the upper body and head once you fold forward, allowing you to relax into the pose. Close your eyes, breathing into the hips, allowing your upper body to feel very heavy, sinking into the pose. Bring your awareness back to the breath, and let's transition to enjoy this stretch on the opposite side. On your next inhale, slowly unwind from this pose, coming back into the neutral position from which you began this posture. bringing both legs outstretched in front of the body. Go ahead and bend your left knee in as you move the sole of your left foot against your right inner thigh. Again, before you begin to forward fold, let's first lengthen the spine and the crown of the head up toward the ceiling. With a straight spine, reach your arms up, maintaining alignment, and now bow forward over the right leg. If possible, your forehead will rest on the right knee or shin. For those of you with tight hamstrings, again, place a yoga bolster or pillow over the right thigh to help support the upper body and head once you fold forward over the right leg. Close your eyes, breathing into the hips, allowing your upper body to feel very heavy, sinking with gravity into the pose. Like many forward bends, Janu Sirsasana is considered a restorative pose because of its calming and re-energizing effects. It can also be a good posture to practice letting go and clearing any emotional attachments as one releases into the forward bend. Some say that powerful emotions or fears are stored in the base of the spine and that these trapped feelings can be cleared through consciously surrendering into this pose. Due to the introspective nature of the posture, Janu Sirsasana can be a good place to help you experience more awareness and connection with your inner self. In addition, this pose may relieve symptoms of anxiety, insomnia, and depression, while also known to relieve high blood pressure, tension headaches, and menstrual pain. Bring yourself back to breath awareness. On your next inhale, start to unwind from this pose, coming back again to a neutral position so you can prepare to transition to the next yoga asana. Bring yourself into a supine position, lying on the back. This pose is called reclining bound angle pose, otherwise known as cobbler's pose or reclined butterfly, and in Sanskrit referred to as Supta Baddha Konasana. This pose type is a supine hip opener. Start in a seated position with your knees hugged in toward the chest and both feet flat on the mat. Now drop both knees out to opposite sides of the mat, coming into butterfly pose, otherwise known as Baddha Konasana. Be sure the soles of your feet are touching. Next, place your arms at your side and lower your upper body down toward the floor until your spine is flat on the mat. Lay your arms at your sides, equal angles from your torso, with your palms facing the ceiling. Make sure your tailbone isn't compressed and there's no stress on your neck or shoulders. If your legs are uncomfortable, place a pillow or bolster underneath the outer thighs of both legs for support. If this pose is a challenge to relax into, you can feel free to use yoga props to make necessary modifications. You may use a yoga block or blanket underneath the hips, or place a yoga bolster or pillow underneath the back and head for total spinal support. Supta Baddha Konasana stimulates the sacral chakra, therefore, it is associated with creativity and determination. Stimulating this chakra is believed to foster inner acceptance while promoting focus and productivity. Reclining bound angle pose has been associated with balancing both male and female hormones and increasing fertility. This pose relieves symptoms of menstruation and menopause in women. It may also relieve stress, anxiety, and mild depression. This stretch opens the hips, the inner thighs, groin, and knees. Bring yourself back to breath awareness. On your next inhale, start to unwind from this pose, coming back again to a neutral position so you can prepare to transition to the next yoga asana. Bring yourself into a supine position, starting out by lying on your right side, then rolling slowly onto your back. We will now be coming into corpse pose, otherwise known in Sanskrit as Shavasana. This pose type is a supine inversion. Make sure your body is in a neutral position. Extend each of your legs slightly wider than hip width apart, and allow your feet and ankles to relax and flop out toward the sides of the mat, creating an external rotation in the lower body. Allow your arms to rest at your sides with palms facing the ceiling. To encourage deregulation of the parasympathetic nervous system, be sure that your hands are at least 12 inches away from the hips. Now, tuck your shoulder blades up under the back by squeezing them gently down and inward, broadening out the chest. This opens the heart and creates an external rotation in the front body. Close the eyes and bring the focus of your drishti downward, feeling your body release any final tension it is holding onto by surrendering into gravity. Although Shavasana is typically practiced at the end of a yoga sequence, it can be used to calm the body at the beginning of practice or for resting in the middle of a sequence. At the end of a yoga session, seated meditation traditionally follows Shavasana. This asana stimulates the Muladhara root chakra because the entire length of the body is connected with the earth. Energizing this chakra through Shavasana is believed to ground the individual, providing the inner stability necessary for personal growth. Some of the benefits of Shavasana include increased energy and productivity, a decrease in anxiety and panic attacks, improved memory, focus, and concentration, along with an increased sense of self-confidence. Known to decrease heart rate, which is calming to the mind and relieve stress. This pose may also reduce headache, fatigue, and insomnia, while proven to lower high blood pressure. yourself back to the awareness of your breath. On your next inhale, slowly bring yourself back to a seated, cross-legged position, bringing your palms together in front of the heart. As your yogini guru, I have one central focus for all of my devout yogis. It's time for us as a human race to make some changes here on Mother Earth, also known to the ancient Peruvians as Pachamama. It's time to change the way we eat, it's time to change the way we live, and it's time to change the way we treat each other. It's up to us to take those next steps towards our own evolution. Everything you do comes back to you. If you do good for yourself and others, the universe brings good things into your life. If you treat yourself and others poorly, you will only attract negative circumstances and situations into your life. That is called karma. So make a better choice. Become a better version of yourself. May the light in me honor the light in you. Namaste. If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to hit subscribe for new episode releases. For information on upcoming yoga workshops and online yoga teacher training and certification programs, visit my website at pachamamayogaretreats.com. The online workshops help yogis to gain a deeper understanding of the healing benefits of yoga, taking their daily practice to the next level. In addition, Pachamama Yoga is an official YASEP Yoga Alliance educator, offering continuing education courses for registered yoga teachers. I deeply encourage you to visit my website for yoga industry news, where I feature yoga tutorials, insight for alternative healing, chakra balancing, meditation, life transformation, and so much more. Like a good yogi, be sure to spread the love and share this episode with friends and anyone who might benefit from the healing practice of yoga.